welcome to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video, I am collabing with my dear friends, Jan and Shani, and I will have their channels linked in my description box. We have done many collabs together, and we're going to continue to do collabs together because we always have so much fun. Now, of course, you guys know I love to come up with questions, so I have come up with 15 questions for us to answer, all hot or cold related, kind of like this or that. And the reason why I thought of hot and cold is just because we're going from summer into fall. Some of us are really into fall where we're living, and then others of us are still kind of dealing with summer. I have a friend actually that lives in Georgia, and she and I talked the other morning on my way to work, and she said it was going to be between 85 and 90 degrees where she lives this week. And I was like, thank goodness I'm not living in Georgia, because I'm not a big hot fan. Here in Oregon, it's getting rainy and kind of gloomy and gray and blustery, and I just love it. I will get sick of it eventually, but right now, I just love it. And in terms of our makeup, I said to Jan and Shani, I said, why don't we create eye looks using either a warm tone palette, if that's what you're into, or a cool tone palette, if that's what you're into. And I love cool tones. So I grabbed the Scooby-Doo Rut-Row Raggy palette from Glamlight out of my collection to use for this look today. I hadn't used this in quite a while, and I just love the color story. And to me, this is pretty cool toned. This shade right here might be a little on the warmer side, but I would say that the majority of the shades in this palette are pretty cool toned. And what I did was I popped this shade here towards the front part of my transition area, this shade towards the latter part of the transition area. I put this in my outer V, and then I put this shade and this shade on my lids. This one here, did I point that out okay? And that one. And then I put a combination of this shade and this shade on my lower lash lines. And man, this is such a beautiful palette. I love Glamlight, love Glamlight. So it was really fun to put this look together today. And I'm not sure if I mentioned, but there are 15 questions for us to answer, this or that, hot or cold related. And I'll have the questions listed in my description box. So if you have a channel and you would like to do this on your channel, I would love for you to do that. Just make sure you tag all three of us so that we can come and watch your videos. And I do want to say before I get started in answering these questions, I adore Jan and Shani so very much. They are beautiful people inside and out. And I know I've said this a few times now, but they are very dear, special friends in my life. And I highly recommend, if you have not yet gone to their channels and subscribed, do it, because you're going to love them. Okay, so I have all the questions written down here for me to answer because there's no way I could memorize these. So let's get started here. Number one, hot coffee or cold coffee? And I prefer hot coffee. In the summertime, sometimes I will get like the icy blended frappes or whatever they're called from like Starbucks or Dutch Brothers. And I do like the iced caramel macchiatos from Starbucks as well. But typically I'm going to get a hot coffee. And normally what I will get from Starbucks is a tall caramel mocha with the real caramel sauce, not the chintzy caramel syrup. I just love that like thick, rich, caramely stuff. And also when it kind of like settles in the bottom of the cup, love it. I also really love Mexi mochas, and we have the Human Bean, which is a coffee chain. I don't know if that's everywhere, but it's here in Oregon. There's a Human Bean just basically right down the street from my house. And I get Mexi mochas there often, and they're just so good. That kind of like cinnamony, nutmeggy, chocolatey deliciousness. And then from Dutch Brothers, I don't really love Dutch Brothers because it kind of tears my insides up. But I will get a caramelizer typically from Dutch Brothers if like there's no other place for us to go and I have to have a coffee, I'll get that. But even in the summertime, I am known to get hot coffees, which I know is kind of strange, but I just love hot coffee. Number two, cool off or warm up? And I guess I would have to say warm up, because I don't like to be hot and have to cool off. But if I am hot, I do like to cool off. That's tough. Maybe it's cool off. But I like it when it's cold outside and I can get all bundled up and snuggly up in like, you know, my sleeping bag or blankie, or my sweats usually is what I will wear. Big, huge sweatshirt, big, huge, ugly sweatpants, big, huge, ugly, fluffy socks. My husband's always like, what's going on in here? So yeah, that's a tough question. I just don't like to be hot and sweaty, so cooling off is wonderful. I don't know if I can pick one. I like them both the same, I guess. I don't know. Number 3, be stranded in the desert or at the North Pole. At the North Pole. I don't like to be really cold either. I'm such a treat, aren't I? Can't ever decide which I like to be, hot or cold. Well, I know I don't like to be hot. And I feel like if you were dressed properly at the North Pole, you'd be fine. You know, like winter gear, winter garb of some sort that was like, you know, protective and would keep me warm, I'd be fine. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Then I think, well, if you're in the desert, you could cool off somehow, but that just doesn't sound like cool at all. So look, North Pole. Number 4, soak in a hot tub or take an ice bath. Soak in a hot tub, which I know I'm totally dichotomizing myself, because if I don't like to be hot, why would I like to sit in a hot tub? But I really do enjoy sitting in a hot tub. I have taken an ice bath before. Well, actually, I just put my legs in an ice bath once because I used to run track and I would get shin splints, and that's how they treat them, is you put your legs in like a cold, icy whirlpool thingamajiggy. And that sucks. It hurts. I mean, your legs end up becoming numb eventually, but it's pretty painful. So no, let's not be painful. So soak in a hot tub. Number 5, hot tea or iced tea. I do like both hot tea and iced tea. I used to drink hot tea a lot, actually. I had this green tea with raspberry in it. That was so good. And then I also used to drink a vanilla Madagascar hot tea. Oh, now I'm craving that. I think we still have that vanilla Madagascar tea in this house, so I might have to take some of that to work with me today. I do really like iced tea as well. I like to have a lot of lemon and a lot of sugar in both of those. That's my favorite way to have it. Number 6, cold leftovers or warmed up in the microwave. It depends. I do not like to warm up pizza in the microwave. I would much prefer to have cold pizza the next day. My husband thinks that is so freaking bizarre. So do my kids. They're like, why are you eating cold pizza? I'm like, because it's good. It tastes weird to me when it's been in the microwave. And there's other things I like to eat cold too, like chicken. I don't really like to put chicken in the microwave. But I like pasta or rice or pie. I like to put pie in the microwave. Apple crisp, I like to put that in the microwave. I just made a big, huge batch of apple crisp and I was putting that in the microwave. Oh, yes, I was. And putting some vanilla ice cream on top. Okay, back up. So I think it just depends on what it is, because I like both. Number 7, chocolate lava cake or hot fudge sundae. Both. How can you choose between chocolate lava cake or a hot fudge sundae? Both together, please. Number 8, lay in the sun or lay in front of a fan. What do you think? Lay in front of a fan. I have been known to do that on many occasions. When it's super hot, I will just plop myself, just starfish out right in front of a fan. I love it. Number 9, red or blue. Both. I mean, it just kind of depends on what mood I'm in. I would say if you're talking about eyeshadows, I would gravitate more now towards blue than red, but I do really like red eyeshadows. I need to do a red eye look soon. I haven't done one in a while. Clothing wise, I like both. I like red and I like blue. I don't know. I like both red and blue, so I can't really answer that. Number 10, cinnamon or peppermint. Ooh. Peppermint though can be kind of hot, but it also is kind of refreshing and cooling too. I love cinnamon. I don't know if you guys remember, but when I was young, we used to have these cinnamon oil soaked toothpicks. I used to just gnaw on those all day long, to the point where I would get this horrible rash around my mouth. My mom used to have to like find them in my room and take them away from me, because I would just, and then end up with this horrible mess all over the lower half of my face. But I guess it just depends what mood I'm in. I do like both cinnamon and peppermint, but typically I'm going to go with cinnamon. Number 11, trip to Arizona or Alaska. Well, I have family that lives in Alaska, and I've never been there to see them, so that would be fun. I'd love to go to Alaska and see my family. They have a commercial fishing boat business, so that would be really fun. Arizona is just too hot for me, but I know that there's some beautiful places in Arizona, like Sedona. My coworker actually, a few months ago, I guess, went to a spa in Sedona, Arizona, and she said it was just fabulous. But I'm a big weenie and don't like heat. So I guess if someone's saying choose one or the other, you have to choose one or the other, I would choose Alaska. Number 12, getting into the car in the middle of summer or middle of winter. Oh boy, both of those are just a treat. I can remember when I was in college, I had a car that had leather seats, and it was during the summertime, and it was so hot. And I got in the car and had shorts on and ended up burning the backs of both thighs. Like they had blisters on the backs of both thighs because it was just grueling outside. And then also having to like touch the steering wheel or the seat belt when it's super hot. Oh, that's awful. But then the wintertime, sometimes it's so bone chillingly cold that I'm just like, and can barely get my hands around the steering wheel, you know? So I think summer though, getting in the car in the summertime is worse, maybe just a little bit worse. Number 13, sit by a campfire or swim in the lake. Well, I like to do both. I like to swim in the lake and then go sit by the campfire. What I love to do is roast marshmallows by the campfire, and I like to burn the outer skin of the marshmallow, like peel it off and eat it. I probably have charcoal poisoning from eating burnt marshmallows when I was a child. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that I could pick one or the other. I do like to swim, and I like to sit by the campfire. So this is probably not that exciting for you guys because I'm not real decisive. Number 14, warm toned or cool toned eyeshadow palette. Again, it just depends on my mood. I felt like a cool toned eyeshadow palette today. Sometimes I do like warm tones too, but I guess I would say that usually I gravitate more towards cool toned shadows and palettes, right? Yeah. But I do like a lot of my warm tone palettes too. I'm horrible at answering these. Number 15, sweater or tank top? Sweater. I love to wear sweaters. I'm so happy that it's getting cooler out so I can finally wear my sweaters. I'm not a big tank top wearer normally. I used to be when I was younger, but I don't know. I have just gotten a little too self-conscious about my body. And so I start thinking I look like a weirdo and I shouldn't be wearing a tank top. So I just end up wearing a big, huge, baggy t-shirt most of the time. So those were my answers to the 15 this or that, basically hot or cold questions that I came up with for my collab today with Jan and Shani. And of course, I highly recommend that you guys go and check out their videos, their channels. If you haven't yet already, subscribe, show them a ton of love and support. They are such fantastic, beautiful, amazing women and very dear friends of mine. I know I say that a lot, but I have to really express how dear these people are to me and in my heart. And I'm really excited to hear what their answers are, see how we are similar, how we differ. That's always really fun to do, like Q&A type collabs with people, because sometimes people like I've collabed with and every single answer is the exact same. And then other times they're completely different. You learn a lot about people when you do Q&A type collabs together. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy. I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.